guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be planning the week of March 23rd to March 29th, and this was week 2 of quarantine or shelter in place. And classes were kind of canceled, or no, they were resumed as of the Thursday before. So I decided to put down all the work labels because my supervisor told us that we are getting paid as a college assistant, and I originally wanted to do this inside the Cloud Planner, but I just took it out because I didn't like it. So for the sidebar, I put down 3 of the full boxes and then put down 2 of the squared off boxes, and it just fit perfectly. So I actually had to raise up the first full box just a smidge to fit everything perfectly. And then for Monday, I put down all the work labels, which I already said, and then I put down a book label from the kit, and I marked down that I had my first online class, which was kind of awkward because I saw my professor in his living room, or it was his dining room, and actually I had a hard time getting into the online learning program, and it took an hour, and my class was an hour and 15 minutes. So by the time I got onto the thing, there was only 15 minutes of class left, and I was like, great. But he discussed the midterm, since we didn't have one yet, which was supposed to be the following Monday, but classes got canceled again because they wanted to ensure that students had computers. So yeah. And then for after that, I put down a fancy label, and I was I designed some new stuff for my shop, and I was watching a bunch of TV shows, and I started watching On My Block, and I finished that over the weekend. So I finished it on Monday. I finished 3 seasons in 4 days, which was pretty impressive. And then for Tuesday, I put down a book label again, and I marked down the 1 class that I had. I originally have 3 classes that I have to attend in person, but one of them, he doesn't really do online teaching, so only 2 of my classes were we had to do kind of like video calls on Blackboard. So I marked that down, and then I put down new releases from my shop, which was scripts. And then I watched a bunch of TV shows that day, and I believe this was Scribble Prints. Oh, no, not Scribble Prints. The Good Doctor's season finale, part 1. And then for Wednesday, I finished watching The Witcher, which was pretty interesting. I was pretty confused about the timeline, but then I started getting it. So yeah, it was awesome. And then I watched The Resident. So also these check boxes are foiled, and I just made these for myself. Let me know if you want them from in the shop, and then I'll just add them. And I'm actually also discontinuing glossy paper because it wasn't foiling as I wanted to, because it just kept giving me a lot of errors, and I'm just so fed up with it. So I'm actually discontinuing them. So it'll only be clear glossy and matte removable paper. And then for Wednesday, I put down a fancy label, and I'm actually writing it out this time. So for Wednesday, I put down a fancy label to mark down I was designing, and I didn't put down the munchkin yet. And then I watched a bunch of TV shows at the end of the day on Wednesday, and my supervisor told us to submit our timesheet early again. So yeah. And then I'm just filling out everything from Monday, Tuesday, and then the sidebar. And I actually wrote Design Ultimate Mini Kit, which was actually last week. And I officially published it on Tuesday. So if I said last week was the Ultimate Mini Kit, it was actually this week instead. And here I'm just filling out all the TV shows that I watched. Also, for Wednesday night, I put down a munchkin head with its eyes wide open, and I was extremely bored because I had nothing to do other than the 3 classes that I have, and one of them he doesn't really require that much. And I actually filmed this in 2 parts, which is why my hands were covered this camera. So here I'm just filling out everything on Thursday and on. So then I put down a fancy label to mark down that I had my other credit card due, and I put down the credit card icon from the Wiggle. And my mom had work, and my dad actually drove her in the mornings and he got breakfast. And then my mom, we had to go pick up my mom from work since she didn't really want to take public transportation. But the following week, she was able to just work remotely from home now, which was awesome. So then I put down a car icon later in that half box. And then I watched a few TV shows, which was technically 5 TV shows, but one of them I just write all together. And then I had a planning sesh, and this planning sesh script is from Letters to Apollo, and I got this from, I believe it was a D-stash table from the SPC party from last year. And I used a bow icon to mark that down. And I cut this, the planning sesh in half and just layered it on top of each other. And then for Friday, I already put down the payday, but I decided to move it because I wanted to mark down that it was the Coffee Monsterz Co. Anniversary event. But I ended up taking everything off and just putting a 3rd squared off box to mark it. And then I put down a piece of washi in between, and I marked down that it was payday. And usually I kind of coordinate payday, but since I wasn't able to work any of those days, so they just they mailed it to our school, but it's currently just sitting there until we come back to campus. And eventually they started to mail out our stubs. And I used the dollar icon from the Wiggle to mark down that it was payday. And then for Friday night, I watched the TV shows, and I got my packages from Sparkly Paper Co. and Amazon. And since I didn't really have a 5th little things to mark, I just put a piece of rose gold inverted washi from Simply Gilded. And then for Saturday, I put down the rest of the piece of washi. And usually I like, for the bottom washi, I just use the larger strip and just cut it in half. So instead of using the other from Monday to Wednesday washi, I just use Thursday to Sunday's washi on both sides. So I have this extra strip. And I put a snooze munchkin from OnceMoreWithLove. And this was the 2 days that I had to do calls, and we had to inform students that the school was offering computers on loan so they can use while we're doing remote learning. And I marked it down with a quarter box, and I put a call or a phone icon, and I marked down that I had work from, or not really work, but I did 80 calls that day. And then for the bottom of Saturday, I put down a piece of washi and I layered on top of it planning sesh because I was planning. And then I put down a appointment label and I had nap time. And then at the bottom, I decided to do my nails, but I ended up taking it off the week after because I was just tired. Or no, I believe I took it off that day. Yeah, I took it off that day because I didn't really want it to deal with it anymore. So I just trimmed off all my nails to little short ones. So eventually when we go back to school, I will do my nails again. And then for Sunday, I did another day of calls and I put down another phone icon and I marked down that I had 50 calls that day. And I was kind of exhausted because some of the students, they didn't pick up, and then they would call me again, and technically we're not supposed to receive calls from them again. They're supposed to email the email that was sent through the voicemail. And here I'm just filling out everything, but for the Sunday, I marked down that I had a YouTube binge, and I watched a TV show, and then I did a plan with me, or I filmed a plan with me, and I actually marked down that I took my dog a bath, but I actually did it the following day because my family wanted to do game night, so I changed that later. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this plan with me. Until next time, bye!